Good morning, good morning. Hello, ladies and gents, welcome to Numerology Talks with Mish Mish. Very, very excited to be here talking about my very bestest modality and everything I love about numerology, why I love it. We're going to talk numerology. Now, Numerology Talks is sponsored by our wellness community and spiritual events directory. And I am Michelle Scott. For those of you that know and follow me, my name is Michelle Scott. You can find me on air at Michelle. I always say I love it. I really must be floating around up in the air. I am an Aquarius sun sign, so it makes sense. You can find me on Facebook at Michelle Scott on air. But, to friends and family, I am Mish. I am Mish Mish to my nieces and my son, who, refuses to call me mum. So, numerology is fun. The journey of self-awareness and self-development really shouldn't be a stress-strained struggle. It should really be like bolts of lightning, so illuminating and insightful. It should be fun. So, hence, the name Numerology Talks with Mish Mish. So each and every week on a Tuesday, Sarah and myself thought, how fun. I love numerology. Again, for those of you that know and follow me, you know that I love numerology. I've been studying numerology since 2003. And hey to Farah, Farah Fawcett. I love numerology. I've been studying numerology since 2003. I have lived through all of the cycles in numerology now since then, which, is going to give you a little bit of insight into it's going to give you, hey Rachel, it's going to give you a little bit of insight into my age there. But numerology was the final piece of the puzzle that told the story of who I was, why I was, where I was, what was up ahead. Numerology is just a modality. There's many other tools that I have in my kit, but honestly, numerology is the modality that just keeps giving. I'm gonna say it like that. It just keeps giving. The more I studied it, the more I learned. The more knowledge. The more I experienced, the more I learned, the more I knew. But it didn't just change my life. It didn't just help me become so much more well versed in me. And honestly, when you are a little powerhouse within yourself, there is no stopping you. So one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, until we can understand ourselves, we can't understand others. So I'm just a big and firm believer in that. So I really feel like that's the most important journey in this lifetime. If you're looking for purpose and you haven't gone down that journey of self-awareness, you must do so now, because there's so much else that goes on in life that's not within our control. But how you manage you from the inside out, that is within your control. No one else can get into that space of yours. No one else can make that space better for you. And when it is better all round. So not only did it help me to know who I was, ladies, but it helped me to understand family. It helped me to understand partners. It helped me to understand why I kept attracting the same type of personality. It helped me as a parent when my son came along. I mean, if I hadn't had this modality to understand that little tacker, who knows? I mean, I couldn't have given him up, because with a birthday of 4, I have a strong sense of duty. But, I really would have liked to have walked away from that little sucker many, many times. He was a lot to handle. But now, of course, he's grown into an amazing human being. And I have to tell you that it's because I understood who he was, where he was, why he was. I understood what he was here to learn. So I've used it, and then of course it became a tool that helped me to build a business. It became one of my most elevated and insightful tools to do readings, to coach. And out of that, I actually created my own program as well, ladies. The more I learned about numbers, the more, numerology and the Pythagorean method that I study, that I'm bringing a little bit of each week into these sessions with you. Was the founder of Pythagorean numerology is Pythagoras the mathematician. Now, he believed that everyone and everything in the universe could be explained in terms of numbers. And I have to tell you, after studying this modality for so many years, having lived through the cycles, having used it to understand myself and others and my life and me in it, and then I've read for hundreds and hundreds of beautiful people, ladies and men. Obviously, probably only a handful of men compared to all the ladies that I've read for. I have had many students. I've had many people on my coaching and business mentoring program. So I have to tell you, through the journey of all of these experiences, that this modality is just spot on. It is so insightful. So you know what? These sessions are all about introducing you. I'm going to just give you a little bit of insight into this first session on, the absolute in-depthness of this modality. And what I started actually saying before and just lost my train of thought on was that I absolutely agree with him that everything can be explained in terms of numbers. So in numerology, we focus on the core numbers, and the core numbers are 1 to 9. So what that means is, we keep adding the numbers together until we are left with one digit between 1 and 9, or master numbers 11 and 22. So in most aspects of the profile, that applies. In some aspects of the profile, 11 and 22 do not apply, and we will add together 1 + 1 = 2, and we will add together 2 + 2 = 4. But for the most part, it's 1 to 9, master numbers 11 and 22. And honestly, what I have throughout all of this journey with numerology and numbers and people, and I've always been fascinated by what makes me tick, what makes you tick. My own program was born, and in that I saw how there were 9 key aspects of self, and there were 9 key areas of life. And if we could develop ourselves and each of those areas, fully and positively, and in that profound and most balanced and centered way, what powerful beings we would be. So it's amazing. I just love it. But you know what? I want these sessions to be these sessions to be informative. I want these sessions to be insightful for you. I want for each and all of you that are called to attend these sessions each week. Even if you listen later, you don't have to be in and on live. I want that saying, when you give a man a fish, you are feeding him for life. If you teach a man how to fish, then that woman or man can actually feed themselves. Okay, so that's empowerment. That's empowerment, and to me, that's the aim of each and all of our journey here on life. It's not about trying to fix it and save it and solve it for everybody else. It makes us feel good, and there's a lot of good in that for the time that it needs to be. But whilst you are saving, we should also be teaching, because none of us can be there for each other forever. And if we don't teach ourselves, each other, our children, our friends, and our clients how to look after themselves, then honestly, when you're not around, that falls apart. So, love doing readings, happy to, and we will be doing readings within these sessions, but not in a, can I have a reading kind of way, and I'm not going to do anything for myself. I don't, giving you a reading only fills you up until the next reading. Whereas what I want to do in these sessions is really take you on the journey of how to read for yourself, how to develop in yourself your own intuitive, your own powerful. Let's wake up your own powerful being, because when we wake that up together, we are powerful. We can change anything. Okay, you can make anything happen in your life. when you are walking, there's just no one that is in an empowered I am enough phase and stage of their lives that's missing out on anything. Those people are absolutely walking this path with purpose, passion, and they're on path. So I don't know about what's going on with my hair there this morning. Looks like I just rolled out of bed. But anyway, that's what these sessions are all about. Numerology Talks with Mish Mish, and you never know what you're going to get. Right, so this is what we're going to do. Today I want to cover, I'm going to go through, I've just dropped my little piece of paper there, but I just want to go through how in-depth this modality is, how deep we can go. One numerology reading, never really cuts it. I mean, there's so much. It's so insightful and amazing, the reading that I'll do for you. But this is why people come back, and go on a coaching program. This is why people will get a reading at the start of every year. They'll get their personal year cycle reading done, because it's such a deep topic. And you've got to look at it like this: for as many areas of life that there is, and for as many parts of you that are expressed in each of those different areas, well, that's how deep and that's how wide and that's how broad your reading is. Okay, we are many things in many different ways at many different times. So today, and thank you to everybody that's joined me. There's so many of you. It's absolutely awesome. And hey to Kaz, who says, I've got Kaz, I've got Rachel from the UK, Tavane, Clark loves numerology. Awesome. I mean, thank you for coming on board, because, it's time for me to share this modality with all of you. We need as many of us that know all of this stuff as we can get, because we need to pay it and carry it forward. So I've lost my piece of paper there. Hold on. I only wanted to get it because I know this modality inside out at the same time. There's always stuff that I think, later I should have said that and I should have said this. So what I want to do, this is how the session is going to go today. I want to talk about your birthday, because it's nice and easy. I'm born on the 4th of, I'm born on the 4th. I don't need to know the month. I don't need to know your year. Just, you can post it. What day are you born on, and with, as I said before, it's the core numbers are 1 to 9, and we keep adding back until we're left with one digit, unless it's 11 or 22. If you're born on the 11th, it's the 11th. If you're born on the 22nd, it's the 22nd. For each and all of the rest of you, what you're going to do is whatever day, put it down. I want these sessions to be interactive. Feedback is gorgeous. Connection is what this is all about. So, pop it down. If you're born on the 27th, it's going to be 2 + 7 = 9. We can talk about the 2 and the 7 plus the 9. Your birthday number is given insight into your natural traits and qualities and characteristics. If you're born the 31st, like my son, it's 3 + 1 = 4. Okay, so he is a number 4. I'm born on the 4th, so I'm a number 4 too. But the way that he, what he also can access there is qualities of the 3 and the 1. Okay, his number 4 is going to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more independent and inventive with that number 1 than my 4, because just in my birthday, my 4 is going to be practical and organised and likes to have those, things in order, those kind of straight lines with the number 4. Number 4 is the organizer. So we're going to talk about your birthday in this session. And but what I would really like to do, and this is where it's going to get fun, right? Because what I like to do, so when I do a reading for you, and my recorded readings are my best seller. I don't need to know anything other than full name at birth, including middle name, full name at birth as it is on your birth certificate, and your birth date detail. And then what I do is I compile the profile. That can be, look, obviously I've been doing this for a very long time, so I'm, I'm a lot quicker than I used to be at the start. At the start it would take a good hour to an hour and a half to compile the profile. And then I switch that recorder on and I start to talk and I read about where the path that you are on, what cycle are you in. We talk about the personality, we talk about you. the personality on that road. And there's so many different aspects. So what I want to do each week, so I'm going to read this out. When I compile your profile, what I do is I go through, I will put together your core profile. So your core profile is your life path number. It's the longest cycle from birth to death. We look at your day. As I said, we're going to do some birthday readings here today. We look at your birthday. We also look at your heart's desire, what drives and motivates you. And what drives and motivates you can be very different to what you're here to learn and what you're good at. And what you're good at is found in your expression number. And then we also have your personality number in numerology, and that shows how others see you. So for me, for example, I've got a personality 8. Number 8 is the manager. Number 8 is the journey of self-empowerment. Number 8 learns how to manage their power efficiently and effectively, being neither disempowered nor overpowering. So the manager is, that's the archetype. So just think about the manager and everything. And if you've had a great one. But then, the thing about our profile is that we look at how much of the number you have. And if it's too much, it tells a story. And if it's not enough, it tells a story. But just let's just say, the 8 is very confident and ambitious. And so for me, when I found numerology, it explained why people saw me differently to how I actually felt on an inner level. So on an inner level, I struggled with confidence, okay? I was much more likely to be self-doubt than self-belief because I was under in my one energy elsewhere in the profile. But the personality number is giving you insight into how others see you. So others had never seen me like that. They didn't see what was going on from the inside out. So your personality number is going to show how others see you. Then there's the maturity number. So your life path number is the road you are on from birth to death, and about midlife, a new energy clicks in. If that number is the same as the life path number, it shows that you have a soul's journey that's really, really important. And if you don't get it the early or the first time round, it's going to continue for well into maturity for you. So that's an important number as well. Your cycles are going to give me insight into what you are meant to learn on that particular leg of the journey. And whatever you are here to learn will determine what comes towards you, what experiences you attract, what type of people you attract, what opportunities you will attract, what challenges you will attract. So that's when numerology becomes a really intuitive tool. And that's where you can get ahead of the game. And you know the energy coming and you can work with the energy, and that's where you become this all-powerful, all-powerful in your life, in charge of you, being assertive about how you move forward. We've also got within that, though, we've got the minor heart's desire, we've got the minor expression number, but that's the essential core. Your life path, birthday, heart's desire, personality, expression, and maturity number. Then, with your name at birth, we allocate a number to every letter in your name. I call this your kit, key indicator traits. So this is where we start to get into 9 key areas of life and 9 key aspects of self. And I can get some really good insight into how you go. How do you go with leadership, which is number 1? Number 1, the archetype is leadership. So if you've got a birthday 1, you will certainly have some leadership ability, whether you are utilizing it or not, okay? Number 1 is leadership. Number 2 is diplomat. Number 3 is the creator. Number 4 is the organizer or the builder. Number 5 is the entrepreneur, the adventurer. Number 6 is the teacher, the counselor. Number 7 is, number 7 can be student as well as spiritualist as well as scientist. I like to call it, the high priestess or the hierophant in tarot. Number 8 is the manager. Number 9 is the humanitarian. So if your birthday or date, I'm never sure how to say that, your day of birth, if that adds up, when that adds up to any one of those numbers between 1 and 9, have a little think about how that sits with you. Give me some feedback. So we've got that particular part of your profile. I will see how many ones are in your profile. So when I said before that, I came across as being very confident and could take charge. But meanwhile, I only had 2 ones in this area of my profile. So therefore, and I also had an overall challenge number 1. So therefore, issues with 1. I was here. This is my journey. My journey was to rise above it, overcome it. My journey was to build, to learn how to build confidence from the inside out. Because until you can overcome the challenges, everything else that you want, that you will for, is very difficult to achieve. But the more, it's like playing a game, right? I love explaining it like this because my son grew up as a little bit of a gamer, and as a family, we loved Mario. Mario, and I loved Mario Brothers, and I loved that Crash Bandicoot. So we love having fun. We also did a lot of SingStar growing up. So I like to explain it like a game, right? That it's all about levels. And the first time you go through that level, when you're playing one of those games, you don't know what's going to come towards you. And then you're out. But then you go back into that level, and now you've got a little bit more. So it's like all the times that we go down, okay, and we get back up again. We didn't know it. Before you had that first heartbreak, you didn't know what that was. You didn't know how that would feel. You didn't know that that's what would happen. But it happens. So the next time it happens, you are better, better, bigger, more. Hopefully you've grown better because of it, and you have a little bit more armor around you that second or third time around. So every time you go into that level, you are more aware. You have more in your kit that can help you, shoot them dead if you like. Because a lot of these games, unfortunately, do have the, gonna get you, the action stuff. But you've got to actually meet and greet all of those challenges along the way to get to the end, and then you go up a level. So that's actually, if you really think about it, that's how it works in life. There is no other way. If anybody out there has actually gotten to where they are, where they wanted to go. If you got there without any challenges along the way, then you must tell me, because I want what you've got. I want what you're having. I want what you're on. So that's the side of your profile that gives me a lot of insight into you. Then I look for your balance number. Okay, what's your balance number? Because that gives me insight into where you should be if things are emotionally turbulent. You've got your rational thought number. What is your likely way of thinking, and what is the way of thinking that would serve you better to get what you want in life? This is all about happiness and how to build it from the inside out. Ladies, this is the program that I developed, that I run, that I'm always talking about. There's easy ways for us to be happy in life. So we look at your balance number, your rational thought number. There's your first key number. That shows me when things are not moving forward for you, what do you need to do to clear the energy, to clear the space, and to get that ignition of what you need, that, spark in the fuel that drives you forward again. I look at your bridge numbers. Often, ladies, what we've come to achieve versus what we've come to learn versus what we want versus my ability to meet all of those experiences and overcome and conquer and be better because of, are not in sync. So I can tell, so I look for your bridge numbers so that I can let you know how to upskill to get there. We can have a look at what drives and motivates you, and how you can use that to better meet your experiences and grow better from there. So that's a very powerful part of your profile. And then, of course, we have the spirit initiation. So what have you done in many lifetimes before now? There's karma. Your numerology profile gives you insight into karma. We have karmic debt numbers. There's 4 combinations of numbers, and when they show up in an individual's profile, it can explain why you go through what you go through time and time again. It's usually shitty. It's usually shitty, but the good news is there's an explanation for why it's shitty, and the good news is that I can give you the tools that you need to turn shitty around into, let's say, silver silver and gold and get you maximizing. There just isn't anything that can hold you back, okay? Because when you know, it becomes enlightenment. It's illuminating where the problem is, and there's so many ways in which we can solve that problem. So it's never an issue. And it's about transparency, you know, and authenticity. You know, do you want to keep burying your head in the sand? You know, denial is not a river in Egypt. If you want to grow better in life, then it's and more authentic and really sit in what you've come to do and express yourself in a way that you've never done before. And this is everything I've done, because I wouldn't be here chatting to you now if I hadn't taken this journey. And baby, I did it the hard way. But I did it, and it was worth it, because I'm telling you, a lot of people I know that don't know who they are really falling down in midlife, and I ain't one of them. And that's not to say that I haven't had all of the perfect ingredients to do so, because I have, and there'll be plenty more that comes my way. But what's held me in good stead is me from the inside out, constantly, you know, doing what I have to do for me, because I believe in me and I love me. So, you know, and then every year there's your personal year number, which is going to give insight into another new cycle entering your life. So, you know, that can be so reassuring and supportive and encouraging. So as I said, karmic debt, but there's also karmic lessons as well, which, you know, don't quite have the same strength as the karmic debt numbers, but also give insight into why a particular thing keeps occurring and reoccurring, and then we give you the tips, the tools, the techniques to get the hell out of there and constantly know how to manage that moving forward. So it's really about teaching you ladies how to build from the inside out that absolute spot and space of centered, balanced and calm. So with your, and so this is what I'm going to do each week, right? Because it's always better to, and it gives our session, you know, something unique and something interesting and something fun. I want to come into the session each week and actually, you know, read for someone. I want to read for someone, because in reading for them, you'll pick up some insight into you anyway. And as I'm reading for that particular person, we'll all be learning. And you'll get to, it's fun, and you'll get to really see the flow of it all. So the way to be the one, and it doesn't have to be, look, you know, obviously it needs to be, I respect privacy, it needs to be about privacy. So let's do it like this, okay? You can actually all put your name, if you want to be the one each and every week, if you want to be the one, you put your name into, you know, yes please, or I want to be the one, or whatever it is that lets me know that you, if you're watching this on replay, I'll leave it until I'm coming on every Tuesday. I'll leave this until the Monday. I want to see all those comments coming in thick and fast, and I'll pick one person's name out each week, but none of you will know about. I'll contact them, and I'll get their details, and I will get their details to put together their big profile, and then they will be, you know, our reader of the session. And it'll be private unless they ask me otherwise. It'll be private unless they post, you know, as I'm reading for them. They're very, you know, if you want to post that that's you, and it's and give me some feedback on that as we go along, awesome, up to you. So let's do that every week. And now I haven't had a chance to look at any of the comments here. But if you've got a birthday one, okay, if you've got a birthday one, the journey is about self-belief, and you are more likely to be independent, okay? If you're not sitting in self-belief with a birthday one, then you're in self-doubt. The number two is sensitive. The number two is the archetype is the diplomat. The number two can smooth the way. The number two, if you're not sitting in the diplomat, with the number two, it's about self-love, the journey of self-love. Then you're probably sitting in self-loathe, and if you don't manage that sensitivity, it becomes anxiety. Okay, number three, any birthday threes, and as I'm saying this, if you've got a 2-7, that becomes a 9. If you've got a 1-5, that becomes a 6. If you've got a 2-3, that becomes a 5. Then take a little bit of 2, take a little bit of 3, but you're mostly going to be the number 5. But you'll be the number 5 with the lovely little, you know, injection of 2 and 3. So number three is the journey of self-expression. Number 3 is fun and funny and sociable and friendly. Okay, if you've got a birthday 3. If you're not sitting in self-expression with the number 3, you're going to be sitting in probably depression. Number 3 must light the way for others, must share their joy. A lot of entertainers of the world will have a lot of 3s in their profile. Number four is practical, as I said before. Number 4 is the journey of self-discipline, the organizer. However, number 4 needs to be careful that I don't become pedantic, that I don't become obsessive, compulsive, and workaholic. Guilty. Not about I've really managed my pedantic and my obsessive, but I can be a little bit of a worker. Number five is the adventurer, the entrepreneur, as an archetype is the entrepreneur. Number 5 is adventurous. Number 5 is multitasking. Number 5 likes to juggle many balls. But number 5 needs to be careful that they don't become rebellious and erratic and start things and not finish them. Number six is all about love. Number 6 is loving. Number 6 is the journey of self-approval, self-appreciation, learning how to love self unconditionally. But if number 6 is not sitting in self-approval, it's disapproval. And number 6 needs to be mindful of perfectionism. Number seven is wisdom. Number 7 is really where number 3s like to number 3s and 5s like to have fun and keep it light and bright. Number 7 likes to grow deep. Number 7 is very much the student. If you're not academic, then you would just be someone that likes to know things, really likes to know things at a deeper level. It's a very much a very knowledgeable way about the number 7. The number 7, though, is very, kind of energy that can spend lots of time on its own, therefore needs to be mindful that it doesn't become too reclusive or, too cynical. The number 7s and 8s may not suffer fools gladly. Number 8 is the manager. Number 8 is very capable, competent. If you're not owning your power, stepping up and into it, then are you overpowering or disempowered? Okay, there's a lot of power with the number 8. So the number 8 can be the money maker. Number 8 is there's a lot of ambition with the number 8. But as I said, every number in numerology, there's the, if you're using it, this is how it's going to help you move forward. And then if you're not using it, this is how it might hold you back. The number 9 is the humanitarian. So with the number 9 is the journey of selflessness, but the number 9 needs to be mindful of people pleasing. The number 9 needs to be mindful they don't save everybody else and forget to save themselves. Without you at the center of it all, nothing else is possible. So, and then 11 and 22s are master numbers. What that means is with great power comes great responsibility. The 11 and 22 do really resonate to a high vibration. So there's a lot of sensitivity, psychic ability, intuitiveness. I've got a spirit initiation of 11, so I have been here before and done this many times. I actually had a reading with the beautiful Sarah, astrologist, Tree of Life. Sarah also does numerology, but she did a Tree of Life and plus astrology for me. And it was interesting that she said, you've done this all before, you've come back to do this all again, and I'm not sure why. I have some ideas because I know myself and my journey and my path very, very well using this modality and many, many other modalities. And that's the thing, ladies, to understand yourself, your path, and why it is or why it is not. Do not give up getting to know and understand yourself. You are important. Okay, you matter. I am enough. So let me see if I've got any comments that I can add to immediately. But this is what I want to do, and I would love you to give me some feedback on that. Let's see. I've got Pandora, Simone. Oh, wonderful. Yes, it is fascinating. Casali, yippee. Jody and Christy, Kate, yay! Hello, Kate. Thank you for loving it. I love your show too. Karen and lovely. Oh, beautiful. Kate's got a birthday 1. How awesome. So, Kate, you would hopefully resonate to all of that. Number 1, because you've got the birthday 1, and I love you. I'm going to talk the number one, the journey of self-belief. And look, you know what? Number one is the beginning of it all. And if you ladies, if you've got a birthday one off, there's a lot of ones elsewhere in your path. And, you know, you've always been, the thing about what we're good at and great at, and the thing about the cycle that you're in, is that you will attract these situations. If you've got a birthday one, leadership is who you are, what you are. Opportunities to lead will come naturally to you because the universe knows, your soul knows, spirit knows. You chose to be the one stepping up and out in this lifetime. If you've got a birthday too, you're going to much more prefer to work with others in paving that path. But if your birthday is one, you have chosen to pave the path, to lead the way for others yourself. And think about what that means. If you've got a birthday one, then you're here to be independent, to step up and stand up on your own. So if you feel unsupported, the landscape is just right. How could you learn to do those things if there was someone picking you up all the time? How could you pave the way for others? Or you might complain. Number one might complain that they're on their own, or they're alone, or they have to do everything on their own. Well, it's perfectly set up, isn't it? If you are here to pave the path for others, in paving that path, in going down roads that others have not gone down, well, of course you're on your own. Of course you are paving that path alone. So this is how it starts to give you so much more insight in a powerful, profound way about who you are and what you have, and to do what you've come to do. So number one is creative thinker. Number one is ideas. It's inventive. Number one is, you know, I'll go down there and I'll do that. And then when I've cleared the path and made it safe and stable for others, I'll, you know, they can all come down too. So number one, if you're not stepping up, can be fear of abandonment, can be fear of standing out, can be fear of being seen. But once you overcome that challenge, and then if you have those fears going on in the background, think about those fears in the background and whatever you've chosen for 2020. You're not going to be able to make that happen if you don't address these underlying fears and things that are going on in the subconscious, and the fact that you're not stepping up and into that energy. But there you go. We started as a 30-minute session, and naturally I could talk for an hour or two, but I won't. So hopefully that absolutely starts everything, starts our beautiful self-development sessions, our numerology talks off on the right foot. And pop your comments in there. Yes, please. I'd like to be the one. We're going to do it every week. So if you miss out, you know, don't worry. We're coming back, and each week will be a different part of your profile that we draw some awareness to. And each week I want to have a profile here that I read out and read for them and teach you. So thank you so much for watching, for listening, for joining me. I just love it. Mwah.